parents, those who have joined us for this panel discussion. I'm Sarabjit Kaur, and on behalf of Ourja Consultancy and Prizdale Learning, I extend a very heartwarming welcome to each one of you. We are here to discuss a very pertinent topic, reopening schools in COVID. This is not only a topic in our city, state, or country. This is a global topic right now. Each country in its own capacity is struggling to take the decision to reopen the schools or not. As India moved towards one phase ahead in unlocking, we have been allowed to open the schools with certain protocols to be followed. But with this decision coming and SOPs coming, the dilemma remains intact. How to implement it? How careful can we be? How well prepared we should be before we actually go ahead with it? Many schools which have been allowed are calling their students from tomorrow, and slowly in upcoming days and few weeks, many schools will be going ahead with the same decision. The struggles will be same, experience will be different, and we want to come together and brainstorm and discuss what struggles are going to be there, how to deal with them, how to prepare ourselves and brace ourselves to face the next phase of reopening the schools in pandemic. Before I go ahead, I would like to introduce our panelists. And I'll just go ahead and share the presentation with everyone. So our first panelist is a very well-known name in the field of education, Honorable, very respectable Dr. B. Singh. He is educational catalyst and patron of Prizdale Ourja. He brings with him a very vast and enriching experience of 42 years in the field of education. He's been with the CBSE helpline since its inception for over more than 20 years now. He's inspected above 70 schools for CBSE affiliation and conducted over 1,000 training workshops. He was former principal of DPS Korba, and he's hosted 5 programs of Honorable Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Welcome, sir. Our next panelist is Dr. Arun Prakash. He's founder principal, L'Oreal International School, Allahabad, and principal consultant, Prizdale Ourja. Dr. Arun Prakash is also founder principal of Sai International School, Bhubaneswar. He's a recipient of National Award from then President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Welcome, sir. Our next panelist is Mr. Sukhwant Singh Thapar. He brings with him a very enriching experience of over 3 decades. He worked in DPS Korba for almost 11 years, and he's working as principal with DPS Nigai since last 22 years now. He's been a mentor to many principals in the making, and he's received CBSE Best Teacher Award, a national award in 2013. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
Our next panelist is Mrs. Rajinder Narula. She's an educationist and principal consultant, Prizdale Ourja. She brings with her 28 years of vast experience in education. She's former headmistress, and she helped set up a new branch of Ryan International School, Ludhiana. She's also has some feathers in her hat, like Tata's National Mentor and DAV Award of Excellence. She's trained 1,000+ teachers to upgrade their competency to become master's trainer at all levels in school. She's academically audited 300+ schools, and she's author of Science and Technology book for grade 10 CBSE. Very warm welcome to you, ma'am.
And here I'll take a pleasure to introduce Sarabjit Kaur ma'am. And I can tell little bit more guarantee because I had worked with her. And Sai International School, Bhubaneswar, she was there with me as a history teacher. And what we have seen her passion in education, the commitment, and bringing best of children and helping them to blossom. And that quest of learning has taken her to different part of the world. She was in US, where she was working with Metropolitan of Chicago as an educational specialist. She has worked a lot on gender sensitization, gender equality, and different issues related to children. She was founder principal of Parablaksh World School, and again I had privilege to visit the school, which although in the remote area of Rajasthan, but has been working very beautifully. She is expert trainer of theory of knowledge of international baccalaureate, and at present she is working in a school which is IB school. She is at present representing IB system in India and creating wonders. So welcome, ma'am, and thank you for taking initiative to present us and taking this program further, which we have planned that we should be able to express whatever situation, whatever problem we face all around, and we can come out with some solutions. Please.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So here we would like to take a pause and request you to send us some videos and audios on this pertinent issue of reopening schools and how are you bracing up for this challenge. Sharing your videos help create a brand value for your school and organization, and definitely it reaches out to different platforms, which means it reaches out to multiple people. We would request you to do so by emailing your videos or audios at prizdale.ourja@gmail.com. Also, during the panel discussion, please feel free to type your questions or queries in the chat box, and we will be taking up in the second round. We will be having 2, and if the time allows, 3 rounds. In the first round, we will be having brainstorming about some very relevant doubts in our minds right now, and how as school leaders and educationists we are trying to move ahead amongst them. How are we preparing ourselves? Second round is going to be question and answer round, where we will be taking up your questions and trying to answer them to our best of capacity. So moving forward, I'm going to talk about how we are actually orienting people. It's been a long gap since the school had shut down and we've shifted to online teaching and learning. And now when we are preparing to once again step back physically in schools, with so many doubts in everybody's mind, how are we going ahead with that? Well, the first and very important point here is to orient, to make people mentally ready. And for that, we have to include all the stakeholders of the school. The management, teachers, non-teaching staff, students, medical team, and there has to be multiple ways of orientation. It's not going to happen just by dropping an email. It's not going to happen just by creating a virtual meeting. It is going to happen by reaching out to each one of the stakeholder, be it personal calling, sending them videos about the preparation that's happening in school, reassuring them that what kind of precautions we are taking to safeguard the safety and health of all the people who will be on the school campus. So this will require multiple attempts, and teaching and non-teaching staff, we have to actually go back and check after orientations, how much are they prepared, throwing a random question and asking, okay, if this happened, what do you think we are going to do? So we not only our duty here is to provide orientation, but also to ensure that the orientation has actually reached the people. Preparing students, preparing parents, there have been many queries. So answering those queries and telling them that how we are going to go ahead with that, because this is a very fragile situation and we cannot leave any question unanswered. So getting prepared, the first step I would say is orientation, preparing yourself and preparing everybody else. Before students enter the school, they come from home. So what as parents is the job, our job as a parent, to ensure that the child, while going to school, we have taken all precautionary and safety measures. The first measure that we can take is by recording the temperature of the child and checking for any symptoms of COVID. And if there are any symptoms or if there is a temperature rise or discrepancy, we should not send the child to the school. Also, we should check temperature when the child comes back from the school. This is a record that we need to maintain on daily basis, and wherever possible, we need to communicate same with the school. Also, like we used to tell children to prepare their bags, the old normal. Now we have to also tell them to prepare their safety kit, their safety supplies. Not only we need to ensure that they are wearing masks properly while they are leaving home, they're also carrying some extra masks with them, hand sanitizer with them, gloves with them, and preferably their own meal from home, water bottle and lunch boxes. And one message that we need to very, calmly give to the children is to stay calm. I know it's a chaotic situation, but we transfer our energy to our children, whether as educators or as parents. So we need to stay calm and tell the children also, send them with a positive note to the school and mentally prepare them to have a good day, but taking all the precautions. One more thing that we need to take care in schools is to have a helpline chart very accessible at different places for all the staff members. If there is an issue that has come up and we don't know what to do, so we should have those numbers handy with us who are professional and expert in the field and can guide us what to do in certain circumstances. So having this helpline chart at your school for the city level or the state level that you're living in will come up to be very handy, and it has to be placed at multiple places in the school premises. The next is that we need to have a qualified nurse and staff on duty in school. We also need to prepare isolation wards in school. Just in case some child feels unwell, we should know what to do, and there has to be a qualified person to deal with that situation in case there's no emergency. If there is an emergency, definitely there has to be a backup of sending the children to the hospital the school has tied up with, which is in the close proximity, and we will be talking about that during the presentation later also. So we need to ensure that there is a qualified nurse and staff, and the first aid kit is ready. The COVID first aid kit is ready in school. That is also something we are going to take up. With this, I would like to invite Dr. Arun Prakash to throw some light on how well the schools are preparing to receive students once the schools reopen. Sir, I think you're mute.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a good opportunity. There is echo coming. Hello. Is that echo? No echo now? Okay. This is a good opportunity, ma'am, to share our thought, our experiences, our views on reopening, so that we can discuss with everyone what we can do. When we are coming back to school after a long gap, we have a lot of anxiety. Children are super excited. Many of them want to meet their friends, and teachers also want to communicate, because this physical distancing which had been happening was very, very difficult. We are confined in the room. Now when we are coming to a school, that too when COVID cases are at most highest level. Its growth is almost stable, but still at the highest level, at high level, not at low level. So in this situation, when we are making our presence in the like a war zone, if there is a war going on, how long we can remain in the home? So people had to come out, normal activities has to go on. So we are coming out in a very difficult situation. So we should not forget that things are not normal now. Things are very, very difficult. But yes, that we say that so must go on. We cannot remain confined. Mankind cannot be confined for a long time. We should know how to cope up. So, Corona is one thing, one case where if proper precaution is taken, risk of getting is almost zero. But what is that proper precaution? How to go ahead with this? We have this very beautiful video which talks about preparedness of schools in Delhi. There are many videos which we wanted to share, some videos from ours also, but since time is not permitting much, we'll request Sarabjit ma'am, if you can play the video, please. You can go back and click that link, please. Ma'am, it's not sharing your screen. It is sharing this thing only. I think it was sharing that PPT only, not the full screen.
Video is not visible, sir?
No.
Oh, it's playing in my screen.
But that is not share. You have to
Okay.
share the whole screen. Please do it once more. Share once more.
Okay, sir.
Share with the screen, not with the PPT.
Sure. Is it visible now, sir?
Yes, yes. Please, please.
Great.
यहाँ पर हमारे गार्ड्स और टीचर्स डिप्यूटेड होते हैं और बच्चे कोशिश हमारी यही रहेगी, पेरेंट्स भी साथ ही होते हैं कि 6 फीट का डिस्टेंस वो मेंटेन करें। ये वाला गेट भी खुल जाएगा और इन 2 गेट से बच्चे एंटर करेंगे और हमारे पास स्कूल में 3 तरफ से एंट्रेंस है, सो स्टैगर्ड तरीके से बच्चे आ सकते हैं। इस तरह की एक मशीन लगाई गई है। ये मशीन विजिटर्स के लिए आरोग्य सेतु ऐप से QR कोड से चलेगी और स्टूडेंट्स के लिए उनके आई कार्ड में QR कोड होगा, उससे चलेगी। सो दिस मशीन हैज़ ब्लू लाइंस और अगर वो QR कोड स्कैन करेगा और बच्चे को फीवर होगा अगर, या उसने मास्क ठीक से नहीं पहना होगा, तो ये वाली लाइंस रेड हो जाएंगी। और उसके बाद अगर बच्चे ज़्यादा हो गए तो वी हैव दीज टच फ्री सैनिटाइजेशन मशीन्स at different parts, and then we'll have the shoe sanitization here, and this way the shoes will be sanitized.
इसके बाद बच्चे जब अंदर आएंगे स्कूल के अंदर, तो कैसे सोशल डिस्टेंस यहाँ पे कैसे मेंटेन होगा और क्या प्रोसेस होगा?
देखिए, ये आपने देखा, ये डिवाइडर्स लगे हुए हैं, इनको क्यू मैनेजर्स हम कहते हैं, और इससे बाय डिफॉल्ट बच्चे 2 लाइन में जाएंगे ताकि इकट्ठे नहीं हो सके। और ये सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग के मार्क्स हैं, सो वी विल हमने उनका काफी ओरिएंटेशन ऑलरेडी किया है कि स्कूल में जब वो आएंगे तो इन्हीं जगहों पे खड़े होंगे जहाँ पे मार्क्स उनको दिखेंगे, और ऑफ कोर्स टीचर्स वगैरह तो यहाँ पे होंगे ही, सो हम उनकी एंट्री यहाँ से रखेंगे। यहाँ पे आएंगे, यहाँ पे अगेन टच फ्री सैनिटाइजर है, एंड बच्चे और विजिटर्स जो भी होगा, टीचर्स यहाँ पे हाथ सैनिटाइज करेंगे। उसके बाद यहाँ आ जाएंगे, अगर उनकी कोई भी क्वेरी है तो यहाँ पे रिसेप्शनिस्ट से दे कैन आस्क द क्वेरी, कोई कॉन्टैक्ट नहीं रहेगा, शील्ड है यहाँ पर। उसके बाद वो यहाँ से आएंगे और ये भी सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग के मार्क्स लगे हुए हैं।
अच्छा, ये फॉलो करते करते
ये फॉलो करते करते
हाँ।
दे विल गो दिस वे।
अच्छा, ये स्टेयरकेस से
ये स्टेयरकेस से ऊपर चले जाएंगे।
अच्छा
और ये इनको निशान दिख रहे हैं कि इनको ऊपर इस तरह से जाना है।
अच्छा, ऊपर जाने का अलग है स्टेयरकेस
और नीचे आने का अलग है।
अच्छा
दिस इज द क्लासरूम, द टीचर इज हियर।
क्लासरूम में बच्चे अगर मैं पूछूं तो कैसे बैठेंगे? अगर सोचिए 3 बच्चे एक साथ आ गए तो
क्रॉस मीन्स यहाँ पे बच्चों को नहीं बैठना, तो जो वेकेंट डेस्क है वहाँ पे सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग के नॉर्म्स को मेंटेन करते हुए बच्चे बैठेंगे और टीचर यहाँ पे होंगे।
एक रूम में कितने मैक्सिमम बच्चे बैठ सकते हैं?
हमारी कोशिश होगी कि हम 10 या 12 से ज़्यादा बच्चे यहाँ पे ना बिठाएं।
और उसके
पर
बाद
शुरू में मुझे उम्मीद नहीं लगती कि इतने बच्चे भी आएंगे, बिकॉज अपॉइंटमेंट से आएंगे बच्चे और हम अपॉइंटमेंट ही अकॉर्डिंगली उनको देंगे। हमने एक स्पेशल टाइम टेबल प्रिपेयर किया है।
फॉर एग्जाम्पल कोई मैथ का क्लास होता है या यहाँ पे साइंस का क्लास होता है, उनको अगर डाउट्स होते हैं तो वो टीचर से कैसे समझे? कोई इंटरेक्शन होगा टीचर से, फिजिकल कांटेक्ट होगा या फिर
कोई फिजिकल कांटेक्ट नहीं होगा, वो अपनी सीट पे खड़े होकर टीचर से सवाल पूछेंगे एंड टीचर हैज ऑल द रिसोर्सेज, टीचर यहाँ से उनको बताएंगे। और हमने अभी जो अरेंजमेंट किया है वो ये है कि क्लासेस में वेब कैम लगेगा और उस वेब कैम से टीचर जो बच्चों को यहाँ पढ़ा रहे हैं वो बच्चे जो घर बैठे हैं वो उसको देख सकते हैं और बहुत क्लैरिटी से।
तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैम यहाँ पे क्लास चल रही है, क्लास के बीच में बच्चों को सिम्टम आ जाती है, बुखार आ जाता है, तबीयत ठीक नहीं लगता है, तो फिर उसके लिए आइसोलेशन रूम है?
ऑफ कोर्स वी हैव 2 आइसोलेशन रूम्स और अगर बच्चे को ऐसे तबीयत खराब लगती है तो हम तुरंत उसको आइसोलेशन रूम में लेके जाएंगे और हम उनके वहाँ पे उसके बीच में वो किसी के कांटेक्ट में नहीं आएगा। आइसोलेशन रूम को हम रोज मॉर्निंग में और रोज छुट्टी के वक्त या जैसे ही कोई बच्चा वहाँ से निकलेगा तो उसको सैनिटाइज करेंगे। आइसोलेशन रूम में आपको दिखाती हूँ और उनके पेरेंट्स को फोन किया जाएगा कि आप आके बच्चे को ले लीजिए। और ये वापस उतरने की स्टेयरकेस है जिससे बच्चे वापस उतरेंगे। ये हमारा बड़ा सेट रूटीन है कि एक सीढ़ी से बच्चा ऊपर जाएगा और दूसरी से नीचे आएगा।
Thank you, ma'am. This video has been telling us a lot what we have to do, what we should work, how we should take things further. We have seen the preparedness. Schools are working hard. They are trying in each and every area, and they are trying to provide whatever best is needed for children. Through sanitization, going in line, training them that how they have to be coming to school. And before that, what Sarabjit ma'am has told, that children should have extra things with them. Recently, I went outside and I had a set up gloves. But in the course of 4 or 5 hours, 3 pairs of gloves were torn for one or other reason. So luckily, I had a box with me in the car I could use. And more than that, when children are bringing these extra masks, how are they keeping? How safe are those? They cannot simply keep in the pocket 3 together and that can become dirty. They should be in proper, sealed, either box or somewhere where they can use it again. So sanitizing their hands in school, following all possible norms. Teachers are trained, teachers are told, but much more responsibility lies on parents and children as well, that they should take care that if children are having some problems, they should not be sent. There should be proper checkup. There should be communication with the schools all the time. The school should give, as a helpline number is given. Same way, there should be even communication with the school dedicated number where someone should always be able to receive if there is any communication from the parent side which they want to pass on to children. So if proper precaution is taken, proper work is done, I'm sure we will be able to contain the pandemic wherever it is, and the graph will go as much as it's down. Now, let us assume children have reached to the classroom, teacher is there, but it's no longer same classroom as it was before. Now, classroom is different. Maybe physical ambience same, but whole psyche of the class is changed. For some time, we may not have 100% children. Maybe only those who are willing to come, where parents are able to take a risk of sending their children, they will be available. Or maybe some children who are not able to get the online teaching because of one or other reason, they may not be available. They may be only coming. But whatever, a majority of children will be at home and some of them will be in the classroom. So we have to take care that whoever is getting interaction in the classroom, something similar should continue to people who are sitting at home. So now we are teaching a wider audience, not only at school, but sitting in different part of the country. They might have gone to other places and they are all joining virtually to the class. So that is one change it will happen in the new setup that we are going to have. Second thing, because of pandemic, there has been a lot of learning by all of us, and we have learned go to digital, going to online pay tools and online platforms and various assessment tools, and so many teaching aids are available. That will continue now. Now there is no need for me to write down questions on the board and children copy as a homework and do next time. We will continue sending homework through simplest form of the WhatsApp or uploading in the Google Classroom or other so many apps had come to the schools and they are experimenting and they are coming with the solution. So we have to go for. Now, if beautiful video of some teaching is available, I can share 1 day before, 2 days before to the children. Children can watch, and when they come in the classroom, we can have different questions. We can invite questions from the children, those who are sitting at home, whatever doubts, whatever questions they have beforehand. So while teaching in the classroom, or any teacher teaching in the classroom can take care those difficulties, those problems, those doubts, and can do that. And since it will be online, they'll be watching through the different things. They even ask the question on the normal classroom as well, where their doubts can be cleared. So physical distancing has to be maintained. Children should not be moving as frequently as it has been before. Even if they are going to washroom or somewhere, they should be strictly monitored because children are only children. They need to be monitored. They have to be counseled. They have to be told all the time. Teachers also should control themselves. Should not go very close to the child. Few meters distance, at least 2 meter distance should be always maintained. Even teachers should not go to pat on the back how you are doing. Physical correction of the notebook also should be avoided. This is what one part of the, although your child is present in the classroom, no need to go and take the notebook and do correction. You may be having gloves, you may be having precaution, but it still can be avoided. Even that child can be told to upload. You can just simply say they can show. If teacher want to say something, either the board or blackboard or somewhere chart model can be shown to them. Physical content should be stopped in the classroom itself. Online mode can be taken as much as possible. And if Dr. V. Singh sir permits, we can have another webinar, other program like this, in which we can talk in more detail what apps, what program, what things are possible to use in the classroom, and other program we can make, and where we can exclusively talk about the classroom transaction during. Thank you, sir. So we'll very soon we'll take care of this. Ma'am. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, that was really enlightening, and we look forward to all the webinars which are going to provide opportunity to learn further in blended learning, of course. I would like to now request Thapar sir to please share his views about reopening the schools and the protocols. Thapar sir, are you there with us? Okay. Yes, sir. Are you there with us?
Audible now?
Yes, you are. Perfect. Yes.
Actually, I was muted from the other side.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarabjit, for your introduction. And thanks to Dr. B. Singh and Dr. Arun Prakash for always providing us with these opportunities of putting across our views. You have rightfully said, and Dr. Arun has also rightfully said, that children are all eagerly waiting for joining us. Parents are worried, teachers are concerned, and management is also quite concerned about the safety of the children. This particular pandemic has given us trouble, but at the same time is also helping us to upgrade ourselves. I have been in the field of education for the past 3 decades, but I have never seen or even interacted so much with so many different people from the CBSE board, from state education departments, as we have done in the past few months. All are concerned, including the board members, including the management people, and they are all showing concern. And I'm sure this kind of presentation that we are going to have will help parents and students and the management people to understand how we need to cope up with the coming challenges. We are facing many challenges, and as every challenge in the past, human beings have faced and come over those challenges. We will be facing this challenge also in a similar way, and in the coming days, things will become better. But presently, as Arun said, that situation is not normal. So those who are going to send the children to the school, it's the responsibility of the schools and the management to ensure that children remain safe and comfortable. So when they arrive in the school, the schools which are having more than one gate, we need to ensure that we can open up all the gates. Even if we are having 3 to 4 gates, we can use them. We can put teachers on duty, staff on duty, so that the thermal screening is done. Sarabjit, you have already pointed out that it's parents' duty also, that back at home, they need to ensure that the child is not having any temperature. And if they're having temperature, they should avoid sending the children to the school. On the other hand, once the child reaches the school, it becomes our duty also to ensure that they are checked properly. And here I would like to give one little, say, feedback, that is, if the children are standing in the sun and we immediately take their measurement, it may show to be on the higher side. So that particular fact also we need to keep in mind while doing the thermal screening. After this, when they arrive inside the classrooms, there also their social distancing has to be ensured by the teacher, that the distance is maintained. Minimum distance that is subscribed, that is 6 feet, should be maintained. Things are going to change for the children. Earlier, we used to ask them to mix together, play together, help each other, but now the instructions and advices are going to change. We need to tell the children to come with their masks. The staff also need to use the mask. And though we are asking the children to bring some extra masks with them, the school also needs to store certain masks with them, so that in case the child tears off his or her mask, they can be replaced. Sanitizers need to be kept at the entrances. Wash basins should be placed near the entrances so that children can wash their hands or use the sanitizers. And these sanitizers should be kept in the washrooms and other multiple places also. And the school management should ensure that earlier also the cleanliness was taken care of, but now it has become more important. Especially the doorknobs, which are going to be handled more often by many people, doorknobs, and similarly such places like tables, desks, washrooms, they need to be cleaned again and again. And in schools where food is served, it should be ensured that the staff put on duty for serving the food has the gloves, because this is very important. And as already Arun also pointed out, we are advising, everyone is advising us to wear masks. At the same time, the management also needs to take care that the masks and gloves are disposed of also as per the guidelines. School should also try to keep a PP kit or PP kits, because there may be a case where the child may show certain symptoms of COVID-19. In such a case, it becomes important that the staff who is going to handle also remains safe. So in such an emergency, the staff can wear the PPE kit and take care of the child. Even to remove such child from the classroom to the isolation room or to the hospital, nearby hospital, someone has to be there with full protection. So PPE kit also the school staff should keep with them. Ayush Mantralaya has also advised that once the schools reopen, the schools should make a provision of providing kada to the to both students as well as the staff if they need. They may have certain problems, they may show certain symptoms. So in such case, the kada of there are various companies which are providing, or the ingredients can be brought in so that those can be boiled in a hygienic atmosphere and provided to the students and the staff, because this will always be good to them. Schools should also ensure that they have an ambulance which is available in the camp, preferably inside the campus. If not, then it should be at a very closer distance, which can come and pick the children if needed. In case it's not possible for the schools to have the ambulance nearby, at least 3 or 4 cars should be earmarked, and all the staff members and other staff members should be aware that which cars have been. Schools may not have so many cars, but also be taken. Most of the staff members come in cars, so those cars can be earmarked. And here I would like to advise that in case the child is shifted to the hospital, to the nearby dispensary, in any of these cars, the car should be sanitized, and later on also, after the child is brought back or taken home in the car, it should be sanitized. We should have student council members, other volunteers, class monitors, those who are willing to come forward for assisting the school for such work. Here, there is going to be one change which I would advise. Earlier, we used to motivate and make the children come forward to set up certain things, to make the cupboards clean inside the classrooms. And children used to love to do that. But in the present time, I would sincerely advise that children should be kept away from being involved in any of the cleaning of the school or cleaning of the cupboards, so that they remain safe. For other voluntary tasks, children should be assigned with certain tasks so that they don't feel that they are not contributing something. And as Sarabjit has already pointed out, that we need to give them positive inputs. Teachers, it becomes all the more important now for us to provide positive inputs to the students, because they are also facing, if they are switching on the news at home, they are watching something which is going on. Always the news is full of so many patients. 75 lakh people have become COVID positive in India. Like they get a little upset about it. So here, our role is important, where we need to give them good feedback, positive feedback, that we shall come out of these times, bad times. And one more thing which I would like to suggest is whether we are students, if we are feeling let down, contact your parents, contact your teachers. There are so many teachers in the school who you like. So try to get in touch with those teachers in case you have to discuss something, in case you are troubled at home with certain thoughts. They will always be helpful to you. On the other hand, teachers also should not feel depressed, because it's very important for you to remain in the right frame of mind. Because if teachers and parents will remain in right frame of mind, we will be able to help our children to do well. So whether it's management, whether it is teachers, whether it's parents, whether it's students, wherever you feel that you need some help, go for it. Seek help from people around you. Thank you, Sarabjit. I would. Yes,
Okay, friends. Thank you. Mr. Thapar, please mute yourself. Thank you, friends, for very, very valuable information we have shared. Friends, we all know pandemic has taught us how in a new style. Only that we have learned teaching, learning, and homeschooling through virtual platforms. It has helped us to unite together, to confront this pandemic together. And luckily, India, if we compare with the world, is in very good position. So thanks to everyone in India, 130 crores people of India, our Prime Minister, the all health ministry and all departments who are very conscious, and so much day and night they are putting efforts. So many warriors, the police, the medical, and of course we from the schools. So we all deserve to get fed from the entire society, everyone. So friends, thank you very much for taking up this very important issue when we are opening schools tomorrow. In this connection, एक चीज मैं यहाँ कहना चाहूंगा, हम सब इंग्लिश में बात कर रहे हैं, शायद बहुत सारे स्कूल ऐसे हैं जिनको हिंदी में जरूरत होगी, तो आज बेशक हम इंग्लिश में बात करें, एक और सेशन हमें डमी करके इसको हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट करके अपलोड करना होगा अपनी यूट्यूब चैनल और वेबसाइट्स पर. सो फ्रेंड्स, विल डू दैट, एंड उसके लिए थोड़ी माफी चाहेंगे. मीडियम में हम आज बात करके एक सीरीज कंप्लीट करेंगे, एंड देन विल कम बैक अगेन. I would like to talk on few other dimensions. Medical safety protocol, special task force, कैसे बना the school, what kind of handy checklists we can have based on the guidelines we got from central government, state governments, what can we roll up parents, which is very, very important and essential, and certain more announcements. So friends, let us see what kind of safety protocol we should have in the school. Here we have given you a sample. Isme, as Mr. Thapar was pointing out, 3 cars identified, their numbers are displayed, their keys are kept at the main gate, so that if there is a need, they are instantly available, sanitized cars, and they are readily available if there is a need. Similarly, there can be that one team to handle the situation and the case, the rescue the child. So 3 members at least, their names and their phone numbers are displayed. Hospitals or medical doctors, numbers, names are displayed so that anybody can ring up. The next team can be to communicate with the family and the parents. Again, 3 members, and the team which is taking child either to the hospital or to home can be there. So this kind of safety protocol should be physically on the flex board in the school campus at least 2-3 places. And same thing is available on virtual platforms, the school website, everywhere. Special task force, we have heard police is many times doing it, but schools also need it. And friends, there is a document released by Action Committee of Delhi, a beautiful document. We'll send you a link and all of you can read and take advantage of that. A special task force, there can be a team like this: principal, vice principal, second in command, other in charges, HODs, and admin officer of the school. Major roles this committee has to play: SOPs, creating checklist, and then signage. Where will you have points and other points? Series of orientations, and Sarabjit Kaur said rightly, we need multiple attempts and multiple ways of orientation. So that we have. Not only that, we have to also ensure that every stakeholder have understood SOPs very well. Starting to get deeper to the chairman of the school, everyone has to be on board and on the same pace. So this team has to ensure audit of preparedness has to be done, analysis system has to be created, MIS, daily MIS system is to be created, how reporting will be done, and so on, how emergencies will be dealt. The next can be checklist, handy checklist. So this may be for orienting stakeholders, can be for upgrading school infrastructure, can be for bringing awareness level at different stakeholders, for entry and exit points, movement inside the campus, taking or serving meals, and then handling emergencies, creating MIS at different levels, authority levels, counseling and exchange of dialogues, exclusive dialogue if required, communicating and transportation is very, very important area where the children will be coming at their own or school is providing it. And of course, very, very important aspect, feedback handling. So parents, of course, the school management, they are ready to play their role. They have assured to the government of India and all ministries and the district administration, we are keen and we have, groomed ourselves. We are ready to take up this challenge. But here, role of parents is also equally important. I will not say duties of parents. I will say these are responsibilities, and we are very happy to note many parents, a majority of parents are ready to play their roles too. So here are a few key points: bringing awareness, helping children to understand the SOPs of school, also creating a balance between motivation, as Mr. Thapar was saying, many news we are seeing every day, a lot of depression comes, many times children may be less in class, they may be in depression state. So how to motivate, how to rejuvenate, how to create out of box. So here comes role of parents giving ideas, supporting a school, playing role of volunteers. Sarabjit Kaur ma'am told rightly, temperature taking, sharing with the school. Mr. Thapar told thermal screening jab karenge, not in the sunlight. And of course, friends, taking stock of activity of daily when child is coming back, giving constructive feedback to the school, creating environment of trust and honesty and relationship, and ensuring immunity level of children and everyone. So with this, friends, we expect the parents are also gearing up very much. I request Rajinder Narula ma'am to supplement and add some value points which are missing in our presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Singh and Dr. Arun Prakash for giving me an opportunity from a land far, far off from India, but I'm totally connected. It's been only 2 weeks that I'm here and still adjusting to the norms because it's early morning here. Sir, be it India or be it US, it's similar situations every parent, every child, and every teacher is facing. Yeah. And you all have already given all the tips as far as, looking after the sanitization and all those new protocols which are to be followed. I would like to stick to see the role of parents only. I am going to a little bit talk about first. Just now, the parent is also a frontline warrior, as the teacher is. If the parent is not going hand in hand with the teacher, cooperating with what is happening at the level of the school, from Monday it will be happening. So then half of the things will be, left undone. So the role of the parent right now is very, very important. He has to take a lot of serious interest in what is happening inside the classroom. What the tips have been given by the teachers, they have to be followed by the parent. That interest has to be brought in into the online and offline mix, the blended learning which the school is trying to bring in. They've been doing it for long now, but the actual blended learning will be happening from Monday onwards. So the parent role is highly important. And as far as the schools are doing, they are already sensitizing the parents towards this, and they need to take a lot of interest in the work which the teachers are providing to the children. So that's where the parents' role is. And then if I carry on coming to the, where the teachers are concerned, if I am a teacher, what all I have to look at while giving away my lessons. At that part, the protocols also have to be listened into, looked into. Very innovative practices have to be followed now onwards. Mental health of the child at this point of time is also highly, highly stressed. They are looking at news all around. They are apprehensive what is going to happen in my school from Monday, and how far will I be able to meet my friends? Will I be able to share my thoughts with them, or just sitting away from each other and just listening to the lessons? So I think mental health of the child by the school authorities, the teacher, right in the class, the atmosphere should be such that there should be some, you know, offhand jokes, some kind of humor being brought in. Not that all the while we are seriously looking at what protocols are, fine. But then some happiness tips have to be given to the children. This also will pass. This too shall pass. We will overcome one day. So while at the assembly, or a tiny small prayer inside, not an assembly outside, it cannot be happening right now. Even if we are inside the classroom, those tiny happy tips need to be given to the children, that this is not a bad time. This was also a time for us to have family feelings. We were sitting at home and having lots and lots of family feelings with our grandparents and with parents. And now we are back to the school. This time, this difficult time will also pass away. So these are little tiny small helps which can make the already stressed mind of the child to come to a level where they can be learning nicely and happily. I can carry on in the next discussion then. Ma'am, you can take on from there. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you very much for very wonderful reports you have given. Offline jokes and humor is very, very essential. At the same time, we must compliment our parents also. See, we all deserve compliments, of course, the students and the teachers, but parents have also learned how to play role of teachership when this home school is going on. So on behalf of everyone sitting here, we take opportunity to compliment all our parents and say all the very best for taking up this new role from tomorrow. Friends, is a slide showing 6 programs we have already planned from the platform of Ourja and Prizdale. We'll have teachers training program from 27th October to 30th. We'll have parent session on 31st. We'll have student session on 1st November. Then teachers training program again from 6 to 8 November. Then the school ownerships conclave we want to have, because this is a very, very important area and it is not heard much. So Dr. Prakash being one of the owner and the founding principal, a very creative and different kind of owner. So his desire was, and we all very happily accepted this proposal. Then we'll have principals training course for 10 to 11 days. We also have many panel discussions. Dr. Arun suggested to have another one. Next slide, ma'am. We may have sessions on art integration. There is a request from many schools, maybe more than one. On transport facility, how it can be made economically viable and practically possible. Enhancing is another great issue of concern. Then we may have on coping up with examination pressure, how to make most appealing resumes, cultivating culture of life-ready learning, how to cultivate a culture of school improvement, detention policy, achievement come target charts, enriching study corner, creating motivating aspects and adding so many things. We will talk on this. Open book test. बहुत सारे बच्चों ने हमें बताया कि बहुत सारे घरों में जो बेडरूम बच्चों का स्टडी कॉर्नर है, फ्रंट वॉल और जो सीलिंग है उस पर मोटिवेशनल कोट्स आर रिटन व्हेन दे गेट अप अर्ली मॉर्निंग, दे फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सी पॉजिटिव स्ट्रोक्स. सो अभी जब बात हो रही थी पॉजिटिव स्ट्रोक्स की, आई एम रिमाइंडेड एंड आई रिक्वेस्ट एंड वी मे हैव वन पैनल डिस्कशन अगेन ऑन दिस. डिफरेंट लेवल्स के लिए पॉजिटिव स्ट्रोक्स का एक चेकलिस्ट हम बना के उसको भी फ्लैक्स बोर्ड पर मल्टीपल वेज में डिस्प्ले करें. समटाइम्स वी आर शॉर्ट ऑफ आइडिया. अगर सामने है तो वी कैन मेक बेटर यूज ऑफ दैट, स्पेशली इन द क्लासरूम व्हेन वी आर टीचिंग. सो थैंक यू सो मच फ्रेंड्स. प्रेयर की बात हो रही थी, प्लेज की बात हो रही थी. ऑफ कोर्स एक पावरफुल प्लेज मैम नरूला ने कहा कि होनी चाहिए. हियर इज वन सिंपल, और ये अतेनिया स्कूल है सहारनपुर, उन्होंने हमसे शेयर किया ये इनपुट. वी एक्नॉलेज देयर एफर्ट्स. एवरी जूम मीटिंग में दे हैव दिस काइंड ऑफ प्लेज. आई रीड एंड वी कैन हियर दैट. आई एम हेल्दी, सेफ एंड हैप्पी. आई विल वियर प्रॉपर मास्क, nose and mouth. I will wash my hands before touching my face and nose. I wash my hands before eating any food. Thank you, God, that I am healthy, safe, and happy. Maybe we can have liner pledges, 100 plus. Keep repeating. At least in next 6 months, we repeat them 20 times. So thank you very much, friends. All the very best.
Dr.
Thank you, sir, for giving us input, explaining us, and moreover motivating us to have this program so that we can discuss things. We have got some questions from Facebook Live. Ma'am, before we go further for the questions which are coming, I want to discuss with Rajinder Narula, ma'am. You have recently moved from India to US, and if I go to the city here or on the way, I don't find people properly wearing masks, or that they just taken out, or masks are not of good quality. By seeing the mask, it appears that they are using the same mask from maybe 10 days. And when you compare to US, what difference you see? The question I'm raising, the degree of following rules and regulations and willingness to cooperate with the authorities. How, do you see any difference in both the systems which you have there?
Yes, sir. I do see a difference. US has learned the hard way, as we all know.
Mm.
The government did not impose proper instructions and the hard rule the way our worthy Prime Minister had done. So the lockdown was there over here also, but people were relaxed about it. And then you saw what happened in New York and in the big cities. But now when I notice, as we all know, the states over here, they enforce the regulations. I'm in the state of Maryland. When I reached the Washington, D.C. Airport, first we landed at Newark and then D.C. What I am noticing in the cities over here, I'm in Rockville, just next to Washington. It's 10 minutes distance, at the outskirts of Washington. When we go out, luckily, as US has not that much populated the cities as we have, that goes in their favor. But now people have learned it the hard way, I'm saying. They are, if not 100%, I'm seeing 90 to 95% people wearing masks. I go out for walks. There also on the walk, if a single person is going, he might have removed the mask. But if there are two people going side by side, they're always wearing masks. And sanitization is right in place, totally right in place. You go to the India Bazaar, you go to any one of their market area, you need to bring your things home. The sanitization is in place, totally in place. At every nook and corner, there is a place where you can sanitize your hands. And they also give you a bad stare if by any chance somebody is not wearing the mask properly. So even if hard way, right now they are following the precautions very nicely. So I'm happy about that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Sarabjit Kaur, ma'am, a question is asked by one student, Jatin Gupta. He is asking about the transportation. Two issues are involved in the transportation. One, how to sanitize and ensure that drivers and cleaners and ayahs and they're also properly trained and they take care of this. Whether children will be sitting there as they were coming overcrowding, so many children sitting together, that aspect. Second aspect, that whether schools will be able to have the transport quite often and from the beginning, considering all the possible gamut of expenditure and everything. So can you please explain something about that?
Yes, sir. Thank you. As far as transportation is concerned, yes, these two are very pertinent questions that you just put forward. One, that's sensitizing the staff, the transportation staff. When I was talking about orientations and sensitization of non-teaching staff, definitely transport department will be one of them. And they are, again, frontliners handling the children before they reach school. So their sensitization and orientation is definitely very, very important. And again, repeatedly taking orientation sessions and checking whether they have learned or not. Again and again, we need to cross-check that. And rehearsals have to be done. Not only by talking, we need to give them a little demo of how it will be done. We need to play the role of children. Okay, if the child is coming, how are you supposed to stand? Are you supposed to come down? Are you supposed to touch the child? What kind of distance do you need to maintain from the child? And to check whether child is wearing the mask or not. So all these three protocols have to be very clearly lined down and taken up with them with repeated instructions as well as demonstrations. We can make videos of the same and circulate with them as quick reminders, quick check videos. Of what do I need to check before I board the student on the bus or the bus leave the school premises. The whole buses would need to be sanitized before leaving the school and after they reach the school. Also, clear marks, as we saw in the video about seating plan, that has to be in place. About which child is supposed to sit where. The seats needs to be tagged. Now, the issue will come when the schools will reopen for the younger lot, because younger lot generally sits with somebody for taking care of them or making sure that they are safe in the bus. Now, right now, that's not the situation. but only the older students are coming. So first we need to take the poll of the parents. While we send the consent form, we also need to know whether they are interested in school transport or not. And generally speaking, at this time, very less parents are interested in using school transportation because of safety protocols. Those who are able to manage, they are managing on their own. So those things have to be in place once the school decides that, yes, we are going to run transportation, then these protocols need to be there. Plus, the question will come of the cost bearing. The school will not be opening to the full capacity anytime sooner. If there are more children, they will be staggered. So how the cost is going to be justified? What measures school management needs to take into consideration while giving transportation facility, and also taking into confidence before going ahead with any decision, taking into confidence all the stakeholders, including parents, and talking logistics with them while making any such decision.
Ma'am, you have very beautifully explained the whole situation of the transport and problems which children will be facing. Sukhman sir, I wanted to know one thing. There was some time before the request or guideline that half of the seats should be used. Next day when child come, he should sit on the same seat, and alternate day children should be called. 50% children should go. Next day child should come and sit in some other seat. Suppose someone is sitting today, same seat should not be occupied by some other child next day. At least 24-hour gap is there, so that although even sanitization is there. So is that possible? Because if when you are charging 50%, can we earmark day one like odd and even days? One day we'll have this row seat or first seat and we can leave, because already 50% seats we are leaving. One possibility, they like our 24, we can have only 20 children sitting in the classroom, or we can have 24 seats. For every child seat is allotted. Alternately, they are coming and sitting in their own seat, so that contamination is there. So how are you planning, and what are the possibilities, that feasibility?
I think each child can come and sit in his or her own seat. And sanitization has to be done before the class as well as after the class gets over. And one good thing that I remember, one of the webinars I had attended of CBSE, in which doctors, not of CBSE, or from the HRDC of DPS Society, in which team of 8 doctors from AIMS, New Delhi, were there. They conducted the workshop. And their advice was something that is pretty encouraging. They said that the virus doesn't stay alive for a very longer time, the wooden furniture. So wherever wooden furniture is there, I think that's a good news for us. And what you are saying, we can make our own arrangements different ways in case we want to call half of the students every alternative day, that's fine. Otherwise, even we can call, say, one class completely and make them sit in different rooms. So I think each school can plan out in their own way. The only thing that we have to ensure is the crowd is less.
We have to avoid crowd at all. So there should not be crowding at any condition. Children should be motivated. Sir, there was another question on which I'll request you to answer, and it's like a bigger question. What are the limitations of opening this school? This is the general question someone has asked, but question is very specific. What are the limitations in opening the school? Sir, we'll close that. Maybe we can take few more minutes. You should remove watch from your room. Clock should be removed.
See, okay. We have already taken extra time, so we may have another panel discussion. Limitations are, of course, many. Some inertia, some barriers, financial constraints, getting less fees, not able to provide so much facilities, extra facilities, so-called sanitization and all other precautions we have to take. these limitations, of course, are there. Maybe to some extent, some mental block on the part of some stakeholders, and having the same consensus, in spite of school saying send children, in spite of this, maybe people are misguided, carried away, they are not counseled, they are confident. Trust the relationship between home and school. To some, we miss it. We have heard many principals, like on 11th September, Dr. Amita Bhattal was saying, maybe mine is the only school in India where 100% fees is there, and my relationship is a different dimension and level. So there is. So I think we must see positive side. Rather, we would recommend all of us to learn from each other. Kindly share your videos, whatever preparations you have done, your audios, your text, your queries. Let us help each other, learn from each other, overcome this problem. जो सबसे पहले मैम सरबजीत कौर कह रही थी कि ये टाइम भी निकल जाएगा, और नरूला मैम भी कह रही थी कि we shall overcome. Definitely we shall overcome. तो ये कंस्ट्रेंट उतने भारी नहीं है, उतने बड़े नहीं है that we cannot overcome in India. इंडिया ने बहुत कुछ सीखा है. जितनी कॉल्स हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर से मिली, हम सब ने देखा कितनी डाइवर्सिटी होने के बावजूद कितनी स्ट्रेंथ और यूनिटी हम की है हर चीज के ऊपर. सो बिग कॉम्प्लीमेंट्स टू एवरीवन इन इंडिया. थैंक यू सो मच.
Just little things I want to remind to children and everyone. First, mask has a life. Mask cannot be used again and again and again. Best is there to use cotton mask, 3-ply mask, which can be made at home as well, and which can be washed again and again. In fact, what is happening, I'm in school, I'm staying in a school campus, and quite often we have visitors. So what I did, I purchased around 20-25 simple green surgical masks made up of cotton, wash, iron, and keep it. Every time I go out to meet one person, I change it and discard, and then it's washed, and next day it's ready. That's one possibility. And even N95 mask, cotton masks which are there can be used. N95 mask has 48 hours life only. But if you are wearing 7, 8 hours, 9 hours continuously, it should be discarded. Where you discard, this is another thing. When you are, even if you are wearing gloves, your hand may not be dirty, but from dirty gloves, if you are touching your nose, your eyes, or any other place, that may contaminate you. When you dispose all these things, should be very properly disposed. So if we take proper care and everyone work in one direction, and we have seen, we will overcome. But here, I want to, since I am representing a school as well, I want to assure mothers, we are trying our level best to take care of children. We are trying to help them out. You also try to motivate them. And for some time, let learning be secondary. Academic learning, I want to say, but I personally feel in this pandemic time, there is more learning for everyone, even how to adjust in the home, how to adjust with the same household 3 months together without seeing the sun outside. That learning is perhaps more important learning for the social norms and social systems. So we have been learning, we are learning, and perhaps these learnings will go a longer way in our life than just academic. So less academic be little backseat. CBSE is also reducing the syllabus. There are most only 30% already less. There is a proposal that to reduce it further. So whether academic learning should be secondary, let us be healthy, let us be happy, enjoy our life, and together we will be able to do. So thank you, Vising sir, for giving this opportunity. Narula ma'am joining from far off place. Sequence taking someone else's help and joining with some other's mobile. And Sarabjit ma'am, you being the host of the program today and conducting so beautifully. And thank to me for not using PowerPoint. Although I also can use it, though people should not feel that I don't know how to use PowerPoint and do that. I can do sometime. But it's being happy and is more important. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All the very best for next panel.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We'll be prepared, sir.
Yes.